Hello, everybody. Not me showing myself popping a pimple. I cannot. I can't. Thank God nobody was on there for that. Hopefully I remember to go and cut it out. What's up, everybody? Hopefully YouTube is pushing this out so people will come on in. Ghetto. I have like a pimple right here, y'all, and I literally tried to pop it. And for a split second, I forgot I was on live. Quick, close these down. We're gonna talk quickly about episode 12, y'all, because I mean, it's been given what a lot of the episodes have been given. Nothing too crazy, not too much, but it's been all right. Like, I'm not losing my mind or anything. Hey, Tezzy, welcome in, boo. How are you? Hey, Auntie, DNC, Carol, Linda, hi. Said, hey, E, I'm so tired of this show, but I'm here to chat with you on this fine night and share thoughts. I understand. I completely understand how people can be tired of it. I think I am doing so much better with compartmentalizing. So I'm like mitigating my expectations around the show, and I'm not frustrated to the point of like I don't want to watch, even though I understand how a bunch of other people have like decided to stop watching. I totally get it. I'm still intrigued enough to want to watch. Like, it's no surprise, no secret that I enjoy Karen. I enjoy her character. I'm really looking to see where her character is gonna go. So that's like my number one driving force for watching SISTAS. After that, I kind of want to see what's happening with Fatima, but now we have the Fatima show, so we don't really need to see that on actually like on SISTAS. The second thing I would probably say that I'm looking for when I'm watching the show is kind of like, will these girls as a whole figure it out? Like, I'm not too committed to Andi's storyline. Sabrina don't even have enough of a storyline to call it a storyline for me, so I'm not too committed to that. I'm interested but not intrigued when it comes to Danni. So like, Karen is the real reason why I'm still watching. And let me tell you, I tried. Well, I did. I succeeded. I live tweeted while watching. And when I tell you, I have been muting people all night on Twitter. Like, I have been not responding to BS and just muting people left and right. So hopefully it'll get to the point where I'm watching SISTAS where I won't see any of the tomfoolery, ignorance, and self-hate that people are willingly spewing on that damn Bird app behind this show. Like, I was just looking at some of these tweets and I'm just like, wow. This is what you really think? Like, I know I have a deep disdain for Gary, but I believe that it's warranted. And people's deep disdain for Karen and the things that they say about her, specifically as a woman, we're doomed. This world is doomed. Like, I don't want to get on my soapbox or anything, but if we gonna talk, y'all, I need to be able to talk. Let me say hello to some more people first. Hey, Carol, Linda, Byron, Sherry. Desi says, I'm good. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. Okay, great to hear. The new year is treating you well already, I hope. Thank you so much for being a member, boo. I appreciate you. Lakeisha, Megan, two Lakeishas. Ida, welcome in. And Gaza, welcome in. It used to be really, hey Erica, how boo. It used to be really disheartening, like having to reply. Like I literally for a long time stopped going onto Twitter and looking at like SISTAS on BT hashtag, and I refused to like live tweet just because how people were doing Karen. I was like, yeah, I'm good. But even like looking at the things that they say about Aaron, I get it. Y'all feel like he's gullible. Some people feel like, hey, Shari boo. Some people feel like, hey, Marge. Some people feel like, okay, Karen is taking, Aaron's kindness for a weakness. And I hear you. Like, I want you to really understand that I really do hear you. However, maybe I should use and. I hear you, and could it also be that we are not used to, we have not been conditioned or socialized or rewarded for one, either having males be or us see men center women in their lives, prioritize women in their lives, be the ride or die for the woman. We always see it in reverse. So as I'm looking at all of the criticism of Aaron, I get it. But then when I think about the woman, or when I think about the world that I want to live in, when I think about the man that I hope to date and marry, and like how I'm just praying to God that he is not so deeply like embedded in this patriarchal society or system, and like he's a free thinker and he just has a certain thing about him to where he does value women in a way that the society doesn't teach you. It looks a lot like more men like Aaron being the norm. And it boggles my mind watching people clown him the way they do, and watching people basically make it seem like men like him shouldn't exist, because that just means that we will never have a society where where men are taught to do better by women. And I get it, like Karen is not returning his affections the same way. I get it, you know, it could be a slippery slope for it not to be equally yoked in reference to romantic affections. However, nobody raises an eyebrow when it's the woman doing it. Nobody raises an eyebrow when a woman is pining after some raggedy ass man. Nobody raises an eyebrow when it's a woman bending over backwards to concede and make life easier for some man. So the fact that it bothers people so much to watch a man, let alone a black man, love a black woman past her flaws, past her mistakes, in spite of all the circumstances and what we would, I guess, call as things that she has put him through. But we are perfectly fine when it's a woman doing it. This boggles my mind. Like, I have to really limit the amount of time I spend on Twitter, because these people that we are up in the world with, like, y'all are mad. Like, y'all are like unhinged for real. And again, I get it. It's not, well, at least for me, having done it, having been a woman who was goofy over some Negro, having been a woman who's bent over backwards for some Negro, like, I get it. It happens. And now I can look at myself, or I can look at friends, or I can look at other women and be like, girl, that ain't right. Cool. But like, it's the people who are looking at women and expecting women to do certain things, but then don't expect men to do the same thing. And I'm just like, well, what part of the game is that? But anywho, we are here to talk about episode 12 of season 5 of Tyler Perry's Sistas. This is a quick little after show, just so I can get y'all's thoughts, theories, predictions for moving forward, and just chop it up with y'all about how you felt about the episode. That is really what I'm thinking, but that, again, only came about because I decided to dip my toe into the Twitter streets tonight. I was live tweeting and watching all the tomfoolery that was pretty much dragging Karen, praising Fatima, and calling Aaron stupid. And I'm just like, wow, I live in a world with these people. Wow. Okay. Got it. And I not understand, like, you cannot agree with Karen. You can be annoyed by her antics and everything. I think that there's, like, levels in which people take it too far. Like, the amount of people that I saw on the timeline today wishing a miscarriage on her. And I'm like, fictitious character or not, that is disgusting. That is just really, it's to me, it's just disgusting. So those are the people I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily saying, like, there's some of y'all who are in here probably like, Aaron, you need to go ahead and cut ties, bro. I'm not saying that naturally, like, that reaction is a problem. I'm saying that people who just can't fathom the amount of kindness and grace that this man seems to hold, those people scare me. Let me see what y'all saying. Lakeisha said she felt so sorry for Aaron. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's definitely disappointing that the baby isn't his, but I love the way that he handled it. And honestly, it really shows not only that he loves Karen, but he's a man of his word, because he literally said that this is how he would respond. He said that. And he also, like, Karen didn't have to go and get this further stuff. Like, personally, I don't want to hear nothing else about the paternity until the damn baby's here. Until we can swab it, I don't want to hear it. I don't care to talk about it, because at this point, we're beating a dead horse and we're stressing about stuff that really don't matter. Aaron is going to be there regardless. ZAC is going to act a fool regardless. Like, nothing of that is going to really change. So, like, until we can really confirm, stop talking to me about the paternity of this kid. Love Fatima and Danny growing relationships. We didn't really get to see Danny relationship grow in this episode, but they previewed it with, I guess, Preston, still being at her house and them chatting, and then Fatima's relationship growing. How do you feel like Fatima's relationship is growing? In Zinga, how do you feel that way? We don't need to have ZAC. We don't need ZAC to have two. You might not want ZAC to have two, but that's not your call. Mr. Perry is going to do what Mr. Perry going to do. DNC says, I'm so tired of the Twitter folks with the foolishness all night. All I saw on Twitter was Karen's line. I don't believe the H word, B word. Like, what the baby is ZAC's. It is time to get over. Get over it. And if it comes out and it's not, okay. Like, I'm so over it. Like, the amount of people, like, Karen has magically in the mere midst of her not being able to get over a relationship, has now become a liar, a thief, conniving, all of these things that she never was before. But the moment that she couldn't get over this relationship and flip it off like a switch, because ZAC didn't either. But ZAC didn't either. Now all of a sudden she's everything but a child of God. Like, when did she become a liar? She's not a liar. Even being delusional isn't a liar, because you actually believe your delusion. Like, y'all, people are exhausting. They really are. Sherry says, gotta remember they are speaking about Karen. That means Ebony is doing a great job, but you're right, they taking it too far. Yeah, it makes me worry about the people that they are in real life. But then, I mean, I pray for the world, period. I also have to understand that not everybody is moving about the world like me. So, like, what y'all see is pretty much what you get. If anything, I temper who I am for, like, the public. Like, if anything, I'm actually more than what you see. In reference to how feisty, how outspoken, how not with the you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like more. So when I look at people and how they respond, I kind of initially be like, oh, well, damn, this is how you are in real life. And maybe it's not. Maybe people are being somebody completely different online. But I lean to the side of, like, no, people come online, especially under the guise of anonymity. They could just put up their favorite person as their profile picture, create some little random name, 624 loves such and such, and then get to talking. And that is really who you are. And that worries me at times, because some of y'all are idiots. I mean, not y'all in the chat, but, like, some of these people in these Twitter streets are complete and utter fools. Hey, Renee, welcome in. Don Burford says, Aaron is a mark. He can do better than Karen. What is a mark? I don't know what that means. And I don't think anybody getting Karen is actually doing bad, but okay. Byron, is Karen telling the truth? I believe she is. Linda said did Karen have a calendar mark when she was intimate with ZAC or Aaron? She too short. No, but we also know, well, maybe she did, maybe she don't. I don't goddamn know. But we also know that she slept with ZAC first. So we also, like, y'all literally know that. And even watching that whole, like, trying to disprove Karen and make her out to be a liar, like, we literally know that Aaron got drunk and slept with Karen after ZAC. We know that to be true. So like, huh? And then if we want to go ahead and look even further in the timeline, they had sex in the car, which to me feels like it was a week before any, like, Tyler Perry and his timeline crazy. But like, y'all, let it go. Even if you don't want to admit that this is Zac's baby, stop fighting the idea that it could be. That's all I ask of you. Stop acting like it's completely preposterous for this to be his baby. Because it's 100% in the wheelhouse it could be. And you need to release the demon that's holding on to the fact that, like, or the idea, because it's not a fact, that you just strongly believe it's not in your heart of hearts. You know? Like, release yourself from the shackles. It's 2023. DNC said this is why a lot of women out here are miserable with 1,000 baby daddies now, because the bad boys like Zach are worshipped, but our good men like Aaron are bashed and called corny, pathetic, etc. I ain't saying all that, but I get the points that are being made. I think, like, what I hope that people see when they see Sistas and see Aaron specifically is, like, hope that you could actually get more. Like, girls that look like the sisters or look like me, y'all can get more. I don't know. Like, I think I actually... Because it took me a while to actually reconcile that, like, Aaron's could be. And, you know, we're watching on the show, Karen don't really believe, like, Aaron is a little bit too good to be true. Her mama think he a little bit too good to be true. But, like, y'all, like, know that you could, that can be. That's something I'm actually, like, actively working with now. So, like, and thinking about, you know, at the end of the year, everybody's planning for the new year, what their goals are. And one of the things that I realize is, like, I have to actively participate regardless of how much I don't want to. And I gotta stop saying I don't want to. I gotta actively participate in the process of romance that comes with, like, aligning with someone who is supposed to be your love or your partner for life or whatever, because I want kids and I want a husband. Like, I just want this amazing family life, and I work towards everything else that I want with vigor and real ambition, except for that I'm just kind of like, well, if Jesus bring them, it's gonna be. And it's just like, girl, you also gotta stop hiding in your house, hiding at work. Like, there's certain things I gotta do, right? But part of the work for me is to also believe that the extraordinary man that I believe I'm supposed to be with exists. And I don't even think that we really realize that that's a thing for us. Especially if you're not a person who takes time to, like, self-reflect and, like, think about your life in that way. So, like, part of me is, like, hoping that people can watch an Aaron on television, and Tyler, don't change him too much and start having him tripping. But, like, can see an Aaron, and that gives them permission to hope and think and truly believe that that type of guy is there. Or, like, for me, and the things that, like, line up in reference to the things that I'm hoping for that actually exists, no matter what evidence or no matter how much the masses is showing you otherwise, these people actually exist and you deserve. So yeah, I don't know what made me say that, but I said it, so y'all can have it. Linda said, Tyler Perry, please hire other writers. DNC says, yes. I do think Karen is telling the truth. Karen ain't never been a liar. Zach, however, has lied multiple times before on the show. Points are being made in the chat, y'all. Hey, Valerie, thank you so much. Thank you. Sherry says, well, she lied to Fatima saying Zach called her all the time, then Fatima checked her. Okay, I think that, and you're right, she did lie in that moment. I think there's something different of, like, being in competition and trying to one-up each other and, like, trying not to play yourself or be played in a moment and saying something that you know is not true, which it is a lie by definition, and being an outright liar. Like, Q to me is a liar. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even call ZAC a liar, even though he has lied. Like, DNC did make a point. I wouldn't even call ZAC a liar. I would call Q a liar. So when I say Karen has never been a liar, that's what I mean. Yes, she has said some things to try to get back at, and she's been in this space of like depression and delusion and like struggling. Cool. Like, got it. But she also was pretty much, for the most part, has been a woman of good senses, and while she's had a spell or a season of like struggling to let go of this relationship, she's come back to her good senses, and like her norm is not to just be a pathological liar out here menacing. So like when people make her out to be that way, I'm like, you're full of but cool, you just don't like her. Cool, you want to big up Fatima. Cool. But like, and that's also a very weird thing for me. Like, it also concerns me that so many people feel like they have to down Karen and big up Fatima to create whatever in their head, because it's exactly how society works. And then we wonder why we have all of this competition happening, all this bullshit comparison. Like, you can like them both. Like, there's still people to this day, I get messages all the time about you secretly hate Fatima even though you say that you love her. No, I actually can love the both of them. I actually can enjoy both of their characters, because personally, I believe that they're the same woman at different stages in their lives. And I have said that, and I'm going to keep saying that. And the fact that your little peasy head, your little measly mind can't fathom that, that's between you and Jesus, baby. That has nothing to do with me. Erica, that person not here, so keep it moving. Not me going on all these damn tangents. Shari said exactly, why lie when it could be proven she's lying with a test? And like, let's get into the episode, y'all, because not for nothing, while we at this hospital and Karen is holding her breath and not releasing it and not saying who it is, I don't think that she did that because she's lying, even though everybody's like, yeah, she didn't want to say it because she's lying. I think she did that because she had finally made peace with trying to move forward with Aaron, and then she got confirmed in what she already thought. She finally started to allow herself to think another scenario. What if this is Aaron's baby? It could be great. We have been great. He's been cooking, I've been cooking beet rubs, not going to the, like, all of these things. And then the truth comes and hit her in the face like, nah, girl, it is his baby. So now she has to reconcile, like, okay, I finally got to the place of I could want this to be something else, and it's still this, so I'm still gonna have to deal with this. And is Aaron really about that life? Like, is he gonna leave me? Is he telling the truth in reference that he gonna be here and help me raise another man's child? Because that's hard for a lot of women to believe. It would be hard for me to believe. I ain't gonna hold you. And I think that a lot of that is what we saw with her not even being excited. Like, she doesn't even have the same zest that she had before when she was like, I'm sure, and I know it's his baby, and da 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 da. Like, at this moment, you would think that she would be like, oh my God, yes, I was right, yada yada. But she's just at a different place now. And people don't want to give her credit for that. Y'all not gonna give the number one character, the most complex character with the best storyline, and giving every single week, whether you like what she's doing or not, her credit. I'm gonna give her credit. Period. DNC says, one time with Fatima, yes, Karen lied. But how about ZAC lying to Fatima, claiming Karen kissed him first, initiated their sex? ZAC lying to her, claiming that he has Karen blocked after he undid it. Also, he swore up and down he didn't remember Heather or have sex with her. But when Nathan and Tony mentioned her vividly at the party as his side chick when he was mad at Karen, ZAC said nothing. DNC, well, pull a receipt then, cause listen, Beverly says Karen lied about the baby being ZAC. Remember, Karen slept with another guy too. I think his name Rico. One, y'all have not seen her sleep with him because the one time that we saw him, he turned her down because he was getting married. Like, y'all just want so bad, which is perfectly fine, but like, if we're going to talk about the story, if we're going to talk about the show, I only want to talk facts, baby. I cannot talk the story that you made up in your head to go along with the story that we're actually watching, because I don't know that one. I don't know her. I don't. And I just got to call a thing a thing. Linda asks, but why did she ask if it was not the 19th? Honestly, I'm not completely sure. But I'm defaulting to the idea of like that was the date that maybe she slept with Aaron, but I'm not sure, Linda. I'm honestly not sure. Hi, Rospeso. I don't like the story. Rospesto says, I don't like the storyline. ZAC will now have 2 children. Also, there was a bit of hesitation on Karen's part. In the real world, you will simply DNA after the child is born. And that's going to come anyway. They're still going to DNA test the child as soon as the child get here. So, I really believe that we're just wasting time with the conversation at this point. Or wasting energy. Not wasting time. And I get it. Y'all don't like the storyline of ZAC having 2 babies by 2 different women. However, it happens. Boo. I know men with more than 2 children by multiple women. And it's more normal than people want to let on. I'm really behind in the chat. Let me try to catch up. I be going off on tangents and then be ranting. I'm sorry, y'all. Beverly Jeffrey's house says, don't worry, Fatima will have Zach get a DNA test done after the baby is born or later in the pregnancy. It needs to be after the baby is born because Karen is over 35, which makes this pregnancy a geriatric pregnancy, and it is very risky to do any type of in vitro testing. So when the baby comes out, by all means, swab down, but we're not going up in that uterus and disturbing nothing over some bullshit, if you ask me. DNC says she asked for confirmation the baby is Zach's. Come on now. We all know she slept with Zach before her and Aaron fully did it in early season 3. Therefore, since the dates were the 12th and the 19th. I mean, Lakeisha says, I like Aaron. I'm also loving the softer side of Karen this season. Loving it. About time. It's the girl. It's watching our girl allow this man to love her little by little, peeling back the layers and the armor. And honestly, it's teaching. It's really teaching, because I struggle with that as well. I can do so much by myself, and it's part of it is you also have to surrender a bit. Erica says, one thing we all know, Fatima will be just another baby mama and not the original. Oh God, I forgot that. I forgot. We haven't been on live in so long. I forgot how you felt about Zach. Girl, I'm not gonna co-sign that. But I also think it's very silly for all the people who are wishing Fatima to get pregnant right now too. It's we don't need Project Twins. I'm sorry, we really don't. Arlene says she didn't say Zach was the baby until Danny said, let's look up at the calendar, because she remember when it happens. I'm just saying, in my opinion. Okay. Cool, thanks for submitting your opinion. If Karen would have let Danny use her calendar, Danny would have figured out that the 12th was the day that Zach moved out of her apartment and reconciled with Karen in season 1. Then the talk of Karen line would be silenced. Ooh. I really hate that we cannot be really, really sure about the timeline. But I am not going to forget, regardless of how many people have forgotten, the reconciled day, because they had sex in her car on the way home from Danny's house. And then, so yeah, I agree. Sunshine 69, I don't agree with you, Karen. I don't believe it's some magical man, and that's not her baby daddy, because that's not even her character. But if that's what you want to believe, cool. But also, don't come here and say it. There's plenty of other people. There's the misogynist YouTube. There's the men who actually hate women who are watching Sisters that don't make no sense to me. And I look and I see their videos and I'm just like, wow, you really hate women, but you are sitting here talking about this woman-based show. Got it. There's so many other places for you to go with no facts in your opinion. Just saying. DSC says, I came to the realization a long time ago that most viewers don't want Karen to actually heal, move on, glow up, and become happy again. Oh, for facts, because they can't even acknowledge that. Also, everything that we're seeing is what happens on that road. Like, what I really wish people would call a thing about. Hey, when Take Talk, how are you doing, boo? And Dawn, how are you, honey? Social media is lying to y'all, okay? Social media makes y'all think that things are happening like this. And I think this is one of the reasons why I'm also still here watching SISTAS, because I appreciate the story that we have seen with Karen, even though it's been, pretty tumultuous and very like back and forth on the scale and at extremes. It also is still very much so true to some of the experiences that women have as we're trying to get over men who we thought was the love of our lives. And so many people are like bought into this social media, digital media age where things happen like this, or you don't actually see or hear about the struggle, so that you think that it don't actually exist. So while people are like, Karen needs to just move on, moving on this is exactly how you do it. You make mistakes, you don't let go, you try to let go, you fight yourself, you deny yourself, you punish yourself, like you do all of these things, and that is actually how you move on. But for whatever reason, so many people have allowed themselves to be brainwashed after 2014 and think that social media and what we have seen on social media is the way that people actually live lives, and we have forgotten that things actually take time. You actually have to do to learn. Most of the things that we learn in life, we learn by making a mistake first. Like, am I tripping? I know I'm not, but I just asked it so I could try to be inclusive of this conversation. I know I'm not tripping. Things take time, and experiences come. Like, experience is just that. Don't just happen. You don't just wake up and know. Like, sometimes for you to know that you're a blithering idiot, somebody got to tell you you're a blithering idiot. Somebody got to point out exactly how unknowledgeable you are in a situation or in a circumstance or within a subject for you to really understand how much you don't know. It's life. Tyler Perry is calling the bluff. Oh, Dawn says Tyler Perry is calling the bluff of those that said that they will stop watching if ZAC is the father. He is counting on his record of the terrible writing, and yet his rating stays the same. Well, Erica says, I don't care if it's a team up, but not to the point of bashing. Oh, yes. See, exactly. DNC says that I'm so tired of hearing about Rico. That ain't his at all. Just not. Period. Not y'all coming in the chat to try to prove to me that Karen is lying. She's not, and you're wasting your time trying to argue with me. I promise you there is another YouTuber that you could be watching right now that would agree with you. So why even be here if your point is trying to like convince me otherwise? Debbie says, no, Karen is lying. Do the math and look at her reaction. I know it's just a show and it's going to go how TP write it. Is she going to have a miscarriage? So I'm just saying. And this is where I draw the motherfucking line. Because I don't wish a miscarriage on any woman, fictitious or real. So like, stop talking to me. Honestly, because that is stupid. Wishing for any, like, even bringing that up, like, I'm a big believer in like manifestation and attracting certain things. I don't even want to be in conversation with people that is okay to like throw around as a wish for anything, let alone person, but anything. You want to have a conversation about miscarriages, go do so with somebody else who lacks the intelligence to tell you that is stupid and disgusting and unnecessary. Moving on. DNC says, how about we do the math and admit that the number 12 comes before the number 13? Knowing that fact is obviously Zach's baby since she slept with Mr. Taylor first before her doings with Mr. Carter. Well. When Tay Talk says, what happened? I'm just coming in and haven't watched the episode. Don't tell me Zach is Karen's BD. Yes. That is what it's looking like, even though all of Twitter and a few select people who decided to come to my chat believe that is not the case. That is what we have confirmed in this episode, that ZAC is in fact the daddy. Pebbles P says, right, for now he has 2 kids. ZAC was a player, so let's move on. And we don't even know if there's going to be more people coming out because of the information that we have gotten about ZAC and Fatima. It's like he was strong in his whole phase. Strong. So like, relax. When Tay Talk says, I'm sure Karen didn't like ZAC sleeping with all those women raw too. He created this drama. Period. And I was just like, when Fatima offered to call the women, I said, Fatima, I'll be with you until you do this. Because it is not your place to call these women and set up anything. You can stand beside him as his fiance. You can be there and y'all can have a conversation of how y'all's life is going to go and how we're going to construct this and navigate. Cool. But you calling these women to initiate this conversation, like, girl, let this man handle his own messes. This has been my issue. This has been my issue with the Fatima-ness of it all. Let this man handle his own messes. Support him, sure. But stepping in so that he doesn't have to even touch his own bullshit is beyond me. I'm never going to go for it. If the team is all that they are hyped up to be, in spite of their nonstop drama, IDK, why so many seem threatened by Heather and Karen, or surprised due to how much he was hitting anything that moved? Well, Monique Brown says, wow, one-sided. If you could see my dad going DMs and the amount of people who I am like constantly, you're like, no, it's not one-sided. It's my opinion. The same way that y'all have y'all's opinion that y'all trying to shove down everybody else's throats, it's mine. And this happens to be my channel. You could come or you could go. Like, that's it. That's all. So maybe it is. Maybe it is one-sided. It's my-sided. Not sorry. He don't need no more kids right now. Do he know that? Y'all be talking to the wrong people, because Zachary needs to know that. Zachary is 2 Fatima coffee dates and 1 ex from high school away from taking down Deja. So like, y'all need to be talking to y'all's king, honestly, and not everybody else. Desi says, right, Fatima has even said she not ready for a baby. Let them live a little. If they gonna live together, eventually a baby will come. I'd rather see them working on their goals, growing strong. Exactly. And Zachary, why are we talking about that? Why are we rushing to get married? You just proposed to this woman yesterday. Like, what are we doing here? It'll be a different story if she wanted to immediately get married. It's like, okay, you want to immediately get married, he want to immediately get married, then fine, y'all go ahead and immediately get married. But now he's like really trying to push for it, which it didn't happen in this episode. We just saw the preview for it. That's something that he's going to circle back to next episode. And I'm just like, why? I don't understand. It's the doubling down, and this is one-sided for me. It's funny that this is one-sided when it presents the other side of the popular opinion. Like, this is an unpopular opinion, sure, but I don't actually believe that what I'm saying is one-sided at all. But okay, go back to your treasure trove of people who have like validated everything that you say and like agree that she's lying. Like, nobody is holding you here, boo. Erica says, they go low, I go lower. I have some of that in me too every now and again. Dawn says, Aaron is so perfect that he gives Karen all this energy of acceptance and forgiveness after only knowing her for 2 months, but his wife of 17 years he couldn't forgive to the point that she killed herself. I don't understand that argument either. So this, I guess, it'll be where we actually disagree, DNC. People blaming Aaron for his wife killing herself. It's beyond me. Like, I don't even understand it. I really don't. And we don't know, like, what else was happening within that relationship. Like, we didn't get full context. Like, it pretty much happened pretty quickly. Like, we know that she cheated on him. And we know that those kids weren't his. So he was already helping her raise kids that didn't belong to him, except for by marriage. And we could only, like, the girl was unhinged. So the divorce to me didn't seem unwarranted. And I've been trying to, like, get into the mind of people who think, like, the girl unaliving herself is Aaron's fault. But I just can't bring myself to understand it. They just enjoy bashing her, but they don't really want her to move on. The tweets I see imply to me most folks really just want her miserable forever. And also a lot of it points to the fact that those people who are saying it are also miserable themselves. When I was looking at the tweets today, which I'm really grateful for, like, different perspective and further clarity, because I can look at it in different eyes today. What I saw today on the timeline was a bunch of hurt people wishing that they were the Fatima in their situations. And, like, yeah, I just saw something very different today. And I really just pitied a lot of people. Like, I pitied them. I don't know how to explain it. Aaron never claimed to be perfect. He admitted to being a recovered alcoholic, has psychotic in-laws, stepchildren who hate him, but he's a good man and loves Karen unconditionally. And I feel that is what so many people hate about him, the fact that he loves Karen so much, no matter the circumstances. I honestly feel like, and this could just be the times that we're in, I really feel like people hate him because you can love black women, but to an extent. Like, people are foolish when it comes to really loving and protecting black women. So when you see it done truly, correctly, I feel like it brushes up against social norms, honestly. Because there is no other man in the whole show who's actually fully stepping up and loving a black woman in their life the way that she really should be. Even ZAC. Yes, I said it. Am I here for the Fatima relationship? Yes, I do want to see where else it goes. However, Fatima is ahead of him in the loving department. He has not been able to check his stuff. He really, truly dropped the ball for me when the whole Ian thing happened, and he could not decenter himself long enough to see, or at least try to see, what Fatima needed and show up in the way that she needed versus show up in a way that coddled his own feelings. So I really think that it's that. The way that Karen is dragged literally like a dog 24/7 by Moses was one-sided. Exactly. It's so funny to me how, like, the narrative now is like, Erica, this is one-sided of you to, like, speak what you believe is Karen's point of view. Meanwhile, everyone else hates her. Like, this is just little old me on my little old YouTube, on my little old Twitter, on my little old Instagram. And, like, I said what I said. Like, y'all get to say what y'all want to say. Like, why can't I say what the hell I want to say? Jane says, not wishing a miscarriage, just saying it's a possibility. Let's wait and see. None of us are writing this. It's always a possibility. With every single pregnancy, it's a possibility. You actually feeling the need to say it out loud is actually trying to call it into existence, whether you realize it or not. What is understood doesn't actually need to be said. So the point that gets brought up in that word, which can be very triggering for a lot of people, and people's disassociation with it, and being so willing to just present it because they want to make a point that's already clear. Every single pregnancy has risk of miscarriage. Every single one. Full stop. So you don't need to say it. And I don't have any ill will towards you, Jane, in particular. However, that's something I think that everyone who's decided to speak about that particular storyline needs to think about. Or be mindful of, and not even or. And if you really just deeply need to speak about that particular storyline, then do so from an informed place that's not just throwing out arbitrary tragedy, and from a place with some type of empathy for women who might have experienced that, who could also be seeing your comments. When Tay Talk says it's not one-sided though because you like Fatima. Exactly. And that's another thing. Like, y'all be wanting to tell the truth and be honest and keep it real only when it fits your narrative. I'm gonna keep it real on both sides. I'm gonna keep it real regardless. That's what the actual truth and facts are. This is an old school soap opera that once the show comes to a close, many skeletons will be coming out. Facts. I agree with you, Dawn. Not baby mama 3, she will be okay. Zach trying to get married, but ain't even want to see if his son had a pack of needles. I ain't gonna hold you. When he found out about that DNA on Fatima, I just knew in SISTAS we were gonna see him trying with this kid. The fact that he has made no efforts towards this kid, I'm just like, Zachary, we about to have problems. We are really about to have problems. Didn't say that about Aaron being blamed for oh, okay, suicide. That was someone else. Oh, okay. Whenever I see that together, that's what it usually is. So I apologize, DNC. That wasn't you, but that's something that people say to me often too. That was his wife. Karen was never Aaron's girlfriend or have any commitment to him. Zach and Fatima only been together for 5 weeks and they're living together and engaged. And he trying to get married tomorrow. Like, no. Zach, you don't even know all there is to know. And that's another thing. Like, oh, it's so stressing me out. When I watch men on television with relationships, I just recently rewatched Bridgerton with my mom. Love the series. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's stressful, but so beautiful to watch. Watching men and like their lack of effort to truly get to know the women that they fall in love with. And it's not for any fault of their own. Like, they're doing the most of what they know, but then it still wind up being so much that you don't know. And when you think about how women are kind of like chastised for the questions that we ask and the things that we want to know going into it, but these men don't be wanting to know certain things. Like, Zach, you don't even know that Fatima has suffered an abortion, and you're trying to make this girl marry you tomorrow. And I know that you don't know what you don't know, but then also slow your ass down and try to get to know. Like, it cannot be enough to dick her down regularly and well and to provide a house. It needs to be something, and maybe this is not something that Tyler Perry shows, but to me, it needs to be something of like the Ian situation happened. You felt the way about it. Her feelings came out. Cool. Are you still creating a space for her to come to you with anything else? What did we learn about it? Because all I saw in the makeup scene was like, we both fucked up. Actually, sir, you lost your damn mind, because while she should have told you, she didn't decide to not tell you and then go crying the end or go doing her own, the things that she used to do. You decided to mess up, gaslight her, and then run out and start doing ZAC attacks left and right. Like, can we address those things? I think men sometimes they miss the forest just looking at this one tree. And I feel like that's what we're seeing happen with Zach. Like, as long as he can get a smile out of Fatima, as long as he get her to say I'm okay, and they're going on dates or going to dinner, everything is all good. Meanwhile, there's so much other stuff bubbling underneath, and he's too afraid to lift up the lid and actually deal with it, see it, and deal whatever those things are. And it annoys me so much, because I also know that part of him is like not taught or equipped to do so, but like just simply asking yourself the question why more would help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I do what I do? Why did she just do this? Why didn't she tell me that? Why did she feel like she couldn't tell me that? Like, just really asking that question until you start to unearth some things that really matter. Anyway. Teresa Purdy says, I believe that Karen is a liar and does want Aaron to be the daddy. If you're trying to say liar, I would probably spell it correctly, boo. And this is probably not the lie for you because you are in the minority, or at least the minority in reference to the person who was getting a voice versus typing in the chat. Thank you for your opinion, but I disagree. Moving on. I don't know why people feel the need to do that. Like, you can literally just go find someone else who agrees with you. There are so many misogynoir content creators who, like, don't know their heads from their asses and, like, are not emotionally intelligent and will give you all the ignorant takes you would like. He didn't need no help creeping around. Exactly. Oh, I think I'm almost caught up. I'm glad that Robin and Andi are on good terms now, that they are really cute. I miss seeing them flirting with each other. Okay, yes, I agree, but then also I'm tired of it. Like, girl, get Gary out of here and, like, let's see what this is talking about with Robin, honey. He has $13 million liquid right now, and you sitting up here running at the goofy ass Gary. Girl, Wednesday Talk says, Erica, you're right, because they love the way that ZAC loved Fatima, and look at all the stuff he got her in. It's just so much more to it. And I also think, I know that also comes with age. Like, having perspective on that, it definitely comes with age. Solati, I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if I mispronounced it. It says, Calvin mentioned the 9th in season 1, episode 3. Fast forward 3 days. The 12th falls on episode 11 of season 1, when Karen and ZAC reconciled and had the car sex. Rewatch season 1, episodes 3 through 12 for facts to support that was the 12th. Okay. Let me screenshot that so I can try to go back and look. Y'all, I have so many videos to freaking make. 2023 is gonna kick my ass, and I'm going harder with this channel, so I'm excited, but also, my word, thank you for adding that. And then also, that's another thing, y'all. If you gonna come with a contrary opinion, or you want to debate with me, come with something like that. Like, I mean, this is to agree with me, but like, come with like receipts and like things of like how you are critically thinking and deducing whatever you have come up with that's contrary to what I think. Because I'm not finna just argue with your opinion and your narrative. Because even my opinions I back by, like, or I at least tell y'all, like, this is how I'm arriving here. But people be out here on the interwebs like, I just said it. I ain't think of, well, I kind of thought about it when it came to my head, but it don't matter if everything points to otherwise. Like, no. Okay, I'm gonna say this, but then we're gonna end the losing child conversation this, because there's a point being made here. DNC says, so many find it funny and cute to wish miscarriage and death on Karen, but it'd be a different story if certain people started wishing on Fatima that she can't have kids due to her past abortion. That is true, and I think that is a very important point, because that is something that came to mind when she had the conversation as Fatima, but I'm not gonna make a video about that. And if I was to have that conversation, I'm gonna try to do so as delicately and not spewing negativity and hate as possible. Like I would much rather have a conversation about the circumstances, the procedure itself and how that actually happens. So like, I would do the research and find out like what medically happens for that to become the result, and like what's the percentages, and turn that into like an education moment that us women can use, and arm ourselves with information as we are making certain decisions like that. But like, I agree with you, And also, like, let's just have smarter conversations about this stuff, because I'm not saying that we can never talk about miscarriage, but it's also like how we're doing it. Like, these are things that change you as, like, at your core. Like, people are never the same after these things, and for us to throw it around as if it's just another piece or a pawn to be used in the way that you want somebody else's fictitious life to go, or even real life. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I've been in situations and I have been the loser ass girl who not necessarily said the words per se, but like had moments where I wanted that for somebody else because that was supposed to be my baby, or just, it's sad. And being that and having experienced that, I know that comes from a negative place and not a good place for the person that's actually saying it. And it's probably also why I'm such a stickler for it now, and I'm not taking no shit about it, because I've also healed through that. And I also have to be mindful of, like, there are people who are at that beginning part of, like, where I've already grown through, so they're going to do it, but it doesn't, like, not annoy me any less. Moving on. We just got to do better. I lost my place. Oh, okay. Let me clarify, wishing either or is sick and evil as fuck. And I'm just pointing out the double standard. Agreed. Also, Danny, Andi, and Sabrina can corroborate that ZAC and Karen reconciled on the 12th, because all spoke on how happy Karen was once they made up. Andi even came to Karen's apartment the next morning and saw ZAC. Yep. Yeah, because that's after that became that started the storyline of her needing to go to the police station, and then ZAC drove them, right? I believe. DNC says, I actually know a little bit about Bridgerton due to the reading about and watching a video on Kate and Anthony before. They're so cute to me from what I saw. I never watched a full episode so far. Go and watch it. Watching the process of people falling in love is so invigorating, but then also so frustrating, because we get in our own ways about so much, and it's just like, notice when Danny started to remember and do the math, Karen was quick to say ZAC. Okay, Belinda. We notice. It is noted. Thank you, honey. Yeah, but if Aaron can't see that what he's accepting can lead to what his wife was doing, especially since he knows that ZAC lives rent-free in Karen's head, so why give energy to so many bad signs? Dawn, okay, let me read it out loud because I kind of like whispered it. Dawn says, yeah, but if Aaron can't see that what he's accepting can lead to what his wife was doing, especially since he knows that ZAC lives rent-free in Karen's head, so why give energy to so many bad signs? I don't agree with what they have. Two completely different relationships, and this isn't setting him up to be cheated on. A black man supporting a black woman through her healing and grieving process of the relationship that happened to her prior is not setting him up to be cheated on. It's setting him up to be truly valued and to be believed as the steadfast rock that he wants to be in her life. He is learning more about Karen than most men ever learn in a lifetime with another woman before they actually even make anything official. And Tyler Perry's talked about this in so many interviews about like how you before you marry somebody, you need to see them in all the seasons of themselves. When they're mad, when they're angry, when they're frustrated, when they're broke, when they're this, when they're that. That's what we're seeing. Aaron is getting to see all that before they even commit to each other. So no, it is not actually setting them up for failure. It is 100% setting them up for success, while also helping Karen to heal and realize how deeply deserving she is of real love. And that's the part that scares me, because while I understand and I appreciate you, adding your thoughts down to the chat, that's the part that scares me, because y'all really believe that. And you don't know or can't fathom the other side of like having this person see you so fully and the moments where you are at your worst and they still can love you while taking care of themselves, but they can still love you. Do you know how empowering that is? Listen, it's everything. Shari says, it's the fact that Andi still haven't said what she's seen in Gary's jacket. Like, can this help Robin, the guy that gave you $1 million for your friend? Andi annoys me. Andi, before she spotted the whole tan line on Fatima's fingers or whatever, I just knew she was about to tell what happened to the doctors. I just knew it. I was like, Andi cannot stop telling that to save her damn life. Like, she is such a horrible friend. But she also, like, she's a woman that is struggling, and I don't want to drag Andi. But the best thing going for her is how she looks, and I hate that for her. I truly do. It is not rare, Shani D, just to be clear. It also is also very indicative of like how the procedure was handled. It's not rare. DNC says, I will say this though. I want her to get both men DNA tested once the baby is born though. So then there can be no excuse from anyone in the situation moving forward. Period. That's it. That's all. I don't give a damn about this ultrasound. I don't give a damn about y'all counting on your fingers and toes. I don't give a damn about Aaron's calendar. I don't care. I want to know what Dana got to say. The pacing bothers me too, Trinity. I ain't gonna hold you. In the middle right now, but I came to say, hey Erica, hey Chat, hey Justin, yo, hi boo. Andi ain't never gonna be. Well, she might actually wake up one of these days. I love how I love how KJ spoke about her character Andi at the 100th episode special. I thought that was really dope and insightful. Dawn says, well, then why didn't he give that to someone who he was already committed to? Okay, so this might be what y'all cancel me for. It's my opinion. I don't have no facts or figures to back it up. It's just how I feel in my heart, okay? Why didn't Aaron give that white woman what he's giving Karen? I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I really do not care about what that white woman did not get. I don't. That's it. That's it. That's all. I mean, interesting question, but I don't care. I don't think about it. It don't keep me up at night. Nothing that happened aside from him leaving his wallet and having her bring it to the restaurant that annoyed me. Nothing that happened within their relationship informed or like swayed me on how I expected or want his relationship or what I see Aaron for with Karen. I don't care about what he did with that white woman. There's a whole other dynamic at play in an interracial relationship. Period. And while we can speak about and be clear, love is love, y'all do y'all's thing. Like, I'm not saying people can't be together. Be together. I have friends who are in interracial relationships. Cool. That works for you. Cool. I'm at a place where it would not work for me. And it's a lot that happens in these types of things. So while we're sitting here talking about you ain't support her, you wasn't there for her, she only cheated once, but she given any kind of microaggressions. Clearly her family was racist. Like, he's raising kids that don't belong to him. That were also white children with their white daddy. Like, there's a lot. And y'all are not going to get me to empathize for that white woman aside from her taking her own life. Y'all not going to get me to empathize with her. You're just not going to do it. So go ahead, stop trying. Let's stop trying early. Try something else. Pick somebody else. Pick something else. Because that one is not the one that's not the hill y'all want to die on. Not to say that is what you're trying to sage on. But, like, you're just not going to get me to do it. There's too many other dynamics at play in an interracial relationship. I don't know why he didn't give that woman, or it doesn't appear that he gave that woman what he gave Karen, because we don't know if he did. But she's also a white woman, so it's different, y'all. It's different. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. And now, I'm not manifesting cancellation on myself, but like, if you don't agree, you think I'm completely ignorant for it, cool. I have my takes that are also not completely fully backed up, and it just going off of my feeling, and that happens to be one of them. I don't care. And I don't think twice about it. And honestly, when y'all ask me, I try to muster up some more thought, and I'm like, I still don't care. If Andy's manipulating both Robin and Gary, but you said that she's manipulating both Robin and Gary, but plays victim when the consequences come back. She's also doing it very poorly. She's not a good manipulator at all. Yeah, she revealed the Danny's domestic violence situation, which was ridiculous. Like, girl, why y'all already know how I feel about that. I put it in my video. All right, Dawn, this is where I tap out of the whole wife conversation, because again, I've already stated I don't care, but I see that you said he should have given all of that to his wife. It would have been more empowering, especially since he's supposed to be a pastor and male advisor who has probably counseled other men like this. Cool. I'm gonna move on. Y'all are having a great dialogue in the chat. If you're watching the replay, be sure to check I did check on there so you can rewatch the chat replay, because there's a lot of great things that I'm not saying that also get mentioned in the chat. A really cool debate is actually happening. DNC says folks want to keep forgetting Fawn had an ongoing affair with his best friend, initially lied and said it was only one. Oh, she lied? See, when I tell you I tuned that lady out so bad, I don't even remember what her full story was. When he told her from the get-go cheating even once was a deal breaker for him. Well, what do you mean, Erica? It's not about black women, it's about Karen. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit behind, so I don't know what you were responding back to. Just repeat it for me, pretty please. Dawn says I'll take that, and that's honest, and it answers a lot for me too. Not it answers a lot for you too. Be clear, I don't have a problem with white women or white people. I do have a problem with white people who go through life with unchecked privilege and entitlement, and like their whiteness creates additional issues for black people. Like that is something that chaps my ass to no end. And when Fawn entered the group chat, she moved very entitled and privileged and like a titled and privileged white woman, and did not realize the consequences of like what she was doing. Her popping up on Karen and like being so forceful and like ridiculous, and then to come to find out that her parents and people were racist. Like I could only imagine like what's that backstory, and I want nothing to do with it, and I don't like, I cannot sympathize with it, because when you think about the amount of like adjusting and bending and flexing, all the stuff that black people have to do every day to exist in a white patriarchal society to make whiteness feel okay. Y'all are not going to get me in my leisure time watching a television show to like now muster up a bunch of sympathy for a character who is just manifested in a way of a person who terrorized real people in real life. Like, you're just not. So like, I'm pointing out the whiteness because it's like the strong social characteristic that, you know, ties to a lot of like the privilege in reference to the menacing I feel like she did. But it's her as a character. I'm not gonna, it's like asking me to sympathize with Gary. You're not gonna get me to do it. You're just not. He's the prototype for patriarchy and misogyny. You're never going to get me to sympathize with his ass. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to get me to sympathize with Q. Tyler Perry, you tried with his old daddy story, but he's a liar. Like, you're just not going to get me to sympathize with these characters, and you're not going to get me to care enough to like, you're just not. So hopefully that also gives you further insight versus maybe drilling down what I just said down to, oh, Erica just doesn't like the woman because she's white. That's not the case. It's the whole setup, and we already have to navigate in the world. Like me as a dark-skinned black woman who's 6 foot tall, be clear, y'all see me sitting all the time, I'm 6 foot tall. I already have to navigate in this world with people who are instantly intimidated by me as soon as I walk in a damn room just because of my physical stature. And a lot of those have been white women. I am not now conceding in my leisure time. Like, I already have to make adjustments and try to move through the world and make sure like, oh, I'm not offending nobody, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that shit on this channel. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it here. I'm just not. So hopefully that provides further clarity, Dawn, since you said that it, you know, answers a lot of other questions, I guess, about me too. Well, okay, so can y'all tell me what exactly simp means? Should I just Google it? No, I would rather y'all tell me, because I see that word thrown around a lot and I never really knew what it means. I just, with context clues, understanding it means like a man who like really likes a woman or like is doing too much for a woman. But like, why do we have such a negative connotation to it? Like, I just don't understand what's the problem with it. Oh, a silly or foolish person. Wait, that's like the Oxford Dictionary. Should I look at Urban Dictionary? What does it mean? Someone who does way too much for a person that they like. The fact that that is like a diss is like, I'm gonna just leave that. That's a whole other video for a whole other day. I did not know I was gonna be on here this long. Anyway, hey Vanessa, welcome in. And I don't believe that Karen is lying, but you already know that. And it'll be a waste of your time to sit in this whole chat and use your whole time to connect with people, and that be the only thing that you say. Shari P says, the pacing of the storyline bothers me too, and what makes it worse is that people who's watching the show and don't understand it. If I see one more comment asking why isn't Karen showing it, yo, if that part, everybody wants to know why Karen isn't showing yet. Y'all, it's been like less than a week. She went to the doctors in the same week that she just went to the hospital. Like, The girl was all of 5 weeks pregnant. What are y'all talking about? And she's thin. I just can't. You're so right, Shari. You're so right. At this point, Shani says, at this point, I don't know anything about these TP World dates. It'll be 3 episodes and still it's Monday. Facts. And I'm noticing that across other shows. Like, I started watching Ruthless, and it's the same thing. And it's the most aggravating. Well, actually, I think he does a better job with timing with Ruthless, because we actually get to see the sun go up and down, but it's similar. It's really similar. Shani says, I wish I was taller. Do you? That's a lot of people that I meet, not everybody, but a lot of people I meet tell me like, oh, I wish I had your height. She seemed obsessed over Aaron the way that Karen was obsessed over Zach. I don't agree with that either, but you know, perspective is perspective. Did he know who all those family? How do you know that, Dawn? Like, how do you know that Aaron knew all of who her family was before he took those vows? How do you know that? I can't. So Lottie says the show has been going by subsequent days since the beginning with no time jump. It's only been 1 month, around 31 days in the SISTAS universe, although we have been watching them for years. Yeah, it's quite sad. Like, the max I was going to give them was 8 weeks, but I think 5 weeks in reference to time is the most accurate. Means a man who is like a fool for a woman. Personally, I feel like there needs to be more simps out there. Like, there's not enough men. Like, men are out here. I'm not about to turn this into an anti-misogyny live, Erica. We're not doing that. But I just think there's way too many men who really care too much about what other men think, when they really should care what women think and how women feel, and they should respect women. And we need a word for that, because I want to start calling most men, whatever that word is, of like, you are so male identified. I just, okay, I'm not gonna do this today. Vanessa, for the very last time, baby, and you are a subscriber who has commented quite a bit. I appreciate you in the community. However, I would like you to free yourself from the shackles of this misinformation. Zach saying that he didn't get his does not mean that he could not have gotten her pregnant. You can get pregnant with pre-ejaculation, babes. Like, period. It's science, honey. So that is not a strong enough thing for you to stand on, and for you to repeatedly have said for multiple months on multiple videos. I would like for you to release yourself, boo. I really would. Velma says, I really think Karen wants Zach to pay for all the damage he's caused their relationship. I believe she wants him to hurt like he made her hurt, and the way to make him hurt is to lose Fatima. I disagree, but I hear you. Right, Shady. Sabrina was in jail for 48 hours, and she spent how many episodes? Like, didn't she spend the whole first half of the season in jail? She says, let's not have that convo today. You've been married. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing men out there. They are amazing. However, with each day that goes on, extraordinary is exactly what it is. Extraordinary. Because most of the ordinary motherfuckers, society has done a number on them. Vanessa Boo, we all don't know that Karen's baby is Aaron's. You know that. And if that's what you know and that makes you happy, then be happy, honey. I know that it's ZAC's. That's it. You know what you know. I know what I know. We can coexist peacefully. I am not trying to tell you to stop thinking that it's Aaron's baby. I want you to think that it's Aaron's baby, especially if it brings you joy. But leave me to my own devices and thoughts. Shani D says, I think the amazing man can overlook. My husband is 5'6" and I'm 5'9". Most women would not have looked at him. Oh God. I mean, you might be right, honey. I'm annoyed because my best friend, well, one of my best friends, who is a guy, literally was having this conversation with me a few days ago after a hike and was just like, I don't want you to be blocking your blessings, Erica. And I'm just like, I am 6 foot. I am 6 foot. And I'm not even gonna hold you. And I told him this. A lot of the shorter men who do approach me, because I do get approached by short men and that boggles my mind, they start with shit like this. You know I climb trees, right? What I told my best friend, there's exceptions to every rule, but there has to be rules for there to be exceptions. And no man talking about he gonna climb my ass like a tree is anybody's exception or extraordinary. So until I meet them, the height requirements stand. But that's a conversation for another day. Shari P says, thank you. Please let that he didn't finish go. First and foremost, we don't even know how long they had been in there for. For all we know, he could have been on round 2 when Aaron walked in. Hello. Erica says, I hate that it is ZAC, but I accept it. Lord. I love that for you. 15 years of a good marriage. I love that for you. One of my homegirls, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, girl. If you catch this on replay, they be secretly watching me, y'all. I can't even with them. Just got married now 2 years ago. And before they had been together for forever. And I adore the way her husband loves her. I just think it's so amazing. Tiffany also one of my friends has an amazing husband. We all went to high school together. Shout out to them. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that in a lot of situations with extraordinary men, we have to remember that a lot of them are extraordinary. This is decisive when the conclusion that Shani, I appreciate the sentiment, but don't wish that on me. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told my best friend. Do not wish a short man on me. Don't do it. It's one thing for it to be an exception and for me to fall, but do not wish for that. I don't want it. I don't want you to hope for it. I don't want nobody to pray for it. Please and thank you. What else happened in this episode? Y'all, do y'all think that Calvin and Sabrina are gonna figure it out now? They just oughta. I feel like this was the most genuine moment of them, like, showing true affection with one another. Also, like the video, pretty please, y'all. It's 49 of y'all in here right now. Not me freezing. Did it freeze? Oh, I just paused for a second. 49 of y'all in here, 22 likes. Come on, hit that like button for me, pretty please. But I feel like we had one of the most organic and beautiful moments with Sabrina and Calvin in this episode. And I'm like, okay, am I about to get back on the Sabrina and Calvin train with them sitting there exhausted after beating the hell out of Q and like leveling with each other, and you can see how much Calvin really cares for Sabrina. I just want him to, like, if you really love this girl and you want to be with this girl, then say that. Like, stop with all the peacocking and the competing, and like call the thing a thing. What doesn't work for you with her? Her questioning your masculinity. Okay, lay it out, make it plain. This is what it is, this is what it ain't. This is what I can offer you. This is what I bring to the table in reference to loving you. Like, let's cut the bullshit, please. Ugh. Old lines, and they don't work. Like, why would you? I don't know why some short man would ever think that a tall woman would want to hear that, unless it's out here working for tall women, and I just am an outlier. But like, nobody wants to hear that. I do not want some little man I could pack up in my purse. Sir, please go away. Those panties still got you side-eyeing, Calvin. Nope. But you really got to see in the scene that he does really, really, really care for her. So there's something there. Not y'all still going back and forth about ZAC in this chat. We just talking about Sabrina and Calvin, and y'all are still going back and forth about ZAC and Karen in this chat. I don't know. I heard that there's a trailer out. If y'all see the trailer, send it to me, DM it to me on Instagram or Twitter or something, because I haven't seen the trailer yet. I've only seen the end of episode preview, where Bio pops back in the picture, which is very convenient, Mr. King, with all the money, because why is Andi coming up with $3 million for bail and borrowing money for Robin and putting him at a place where he ain't gonna be able to save this company that he just bought, when you could have literally just gave the $3 million without no sweat off of your brow, and you've been hiding for however long, and now that Calvin done beat the hell out of Q and then sat there and like really showed exactly how much he loved this girl, you gonna pop back out the woodworks with all your flowers and your sweet talk, sir? I don't give a damn if it's a short prince. Erica, you talking to me? I don't care if it's a short prince. No, nobody better not tell me they're gonna climb me like a damn tree. Shari says, yes, I feel like this whole Sabrina getting locked up storyline was a way to bring Calvin and Sabrina back together. I agree, Shari. And I'm like, but this time I hope that Tyler Perry gives Sabrina and Calvin the meat that the storyline deserves. Because at the core of it, right? Like, when you think of the fundamentals of Sabrina and Calvin, and like her questioning his masculinity, his metrosexuality, that's very real. There's so much to go there, but I feel like Tyler Perry didn't give enough time or effort and energy into developing their storyline and putting a little bit more nuance into it so that we could go through the whole thing. So everything just feels so trite and trivial with them, and it's more spectacle than actually like what this actually looks like and being in this situation. I would love it if she did more questioning around her sexuality and what she was comfortable with. Like, I think we started to get like the idea of her processing, could she be with a bisexual man, even though Calvin isn't bisexual. But like, let's see more of that, because like that's the conversations that me and my girlfriends are having. Like, I was in Miami with my homegirl in November, and we were talking about that, and I was just like talking about what my preferences are and my proximity to queerness, and what her preferences are and what she was okay with. And like, I am not okay with a lot. Like, I realized in talking to her, I am not okay with a lot, but she is okay with much more. And I'm like, yo, if we could have saw that play out by way of Sabrina and Calvin's storyline on the show, and it could have been very progressive in reference to having conversations about, or having conversations around life that's happening for the average viewer, his target audience right now. God, that is hilarious. And also, I think that Sabrina and Calvin really speak to, like, you like what you like and you don't like what you don't like. For a very long time, I was like, Sabrina, if you don't like this man, then you don't like this man, and that's okay. Like, you do not have to make any excuses for what you do and what you don't like. But it also, at some point, feels like she does actually like him. She is comfortable with it. She's comfortable with the vibrator thing. She's comfortable, like, not comfortable, but she was okay enough to participate. She was just okay enough to continue on. But for me, some of those things would have been an absolute hell no, and I would have got, like, that would have been it. There would have been no other. And I just want her to be more comfortable. Like, if you're okay with it, but you feel like you're not supposed to be okay with it, girl, figure that out, talk to Jesus, and make peace, and then be loved, period. But if you're not okay with it, then don't be okay with it, and, like, speak to that. Erica, I couldn't personally, and that's no offense to anybody who is bisexual, but I don't think I could date a bisexual person. That's because you asked. But I've had those conversations with my homegirl. Like, we talk about, this came up online, and I asked myself these type of questions. I don't know what y'all be doing in y'all life, but I asked myself these type of questions. So, like, it came up, the idea of, like, a person is transphobic if they won't date a trans person. And this isn't a video about that, so maybe I can create another video or go live or talk about it some other time. But this is also not something I fully like to talk about in this form, because the internet is a little bit unforgiving and can't really have open dialogue. But, like, I've seen multiple times different places online of, like, people saying that you are transphobic if you don't date trans people. So I, like, went to my homegirl, like, damn, I guess I'm transphobic because I don't think I could date a trans person. And then she was like, well, could you date this person? And I was like, I don't think I could date a bi person. Like, I think I am only comfortable dating a cis heterosexual man. And that sparked a huge dialogue around, like, what we were comfortable with. And I love Mariama, my homegirl. Love her so much because she asks very intentional questions and very specific questions that, like, helped me start to unpack what I was uncomfortable with and what I didn't like about certain things. And, like, she's also was able to reveal certain things to me. And again, I feel like all of that is something that I think would be dope to see play out on a television show about some homegirls, because it's really happening, or at least it's happening for me. I don't know what's happening for y'all, but it's happening for me. And to the point of, like, the self-reflection things, like, when that came up, I'm like, I understand myself or believe myself to not be transphobic. I don't think I'm transphobic. I don't think I'm homophobic. I don't think I'm any of those things. However, if a trans person is saying that this would be how they associate transphobia, I'm a type of person that I'm going to take that into consideration and be like, okay, well, let me try to unpack that and figure out, because I could feel like I'm not cool, but maybe I am. And then if I am, then maybe I got to make peace with at least that part of it, if that makes sense. Shani said that type of conversation needs to be behind a paywall, not out in the open. That's an intelligent convo, not for the masses. I agree. So we're gonna cut it there. I be too open sometimes, because I also am very inquisitive, and one of the things that, like, led me to diving into this channel is the ability to be able to have certain conversations around life that is sparked, or at least initially presented in media and television and film. But you're right, that is definitely something that needs to be curated, and, like, because Lord, I can only imagine what people are going to do on the replay of this. And people let it create a narrative. Hey, Danielle, welcome back in. I don't like Danielle says, I don't like the idea of Fatima being involved with the mothers right now. Maybe later, once everything isn't still hot-headed. It's too sensitive of a time, especially for Karen to be dealing with Fatima. Also, I'm just coming back, interjecting. Hey, y'all, I just finished the episode. I agree with you. It's not for Fatima to set up. I think she can weigh in on her part in reference to her and ZAC's life together and what they agree they want it to look like, and, like, be there for the whole negotiations of that. Cool. But No, it's not for Fatima to be the damn secretary out here making these calls as the new woman. Like, just no. And one for like Karen, but like for me, the number one thing is because ZAC needs to be a man and handle his Dawn said she wasn't comfortable. She just did it because it caught her off guard. You could tell she didn't like it because she just still feeling some type of way after about his sexuality. But I can't tell if Sabrina feels a way about his perceived sexuality because of how that's gonna make her look, or because she really just has a problem with it. Because if she really had a problem with it, why can't she leave the man alone? Maybe in the moment I can understand feeling pressured and being caught off guard to do some things that you don't want to do. But like, she still is persisting with this man. You know? That's the part that I'm just like, girl, something about this is like, for me, for her, about how this looks versus really how she feels about it. And then that is just reinforced by how she lets Danny's opinions of things change her opinion of things. You know? Anything else from this episode, y'all? Because we done made it a whole hour and a half and I didn't even realize. DNC says, I just feel for Karen. I wish the baby was Aaron's. I think it'll bring her more peace in the long run. Also, Sabrina feels a way about what people will think, not about Calvin as a person, in my opinion. More and more, I'm really starting to believe that too. And that's so unfortunate for her. But a lot of us live our lives that way and never really wake up from the tragedy that is the socialization of like worried about other people's validation on our own lives. So unfortunate. I mean, hell, I still experience it in some parts, especially when I'm venturing into new things, into like new spaces. If I already feel like accomplished or like I know something, then that's one thing. But like when I enter into a new space and I'm trying something new, it's very easy to fall into like wanting people who seem more seasoned or more knowledgeable, more popular in that particular space, wanting their validation. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you so much for dropping your thoughts. Drop any last minute thoughts on the episode in the comments down below. If I had to rate this episode, I probably would give it like a 6.5. 6.5, maybe a 7. They just doing stuff. And I mean, I guess that's cool. Hit that like button. Let me know that you like this live. Even if you didn't like this live, hit the like button because you stayed in here for an hour and a half. So go ahead and help your good sis out and help the channel grow and live on to another day for us to have more controversial conversations, or for me to move forward and you still be able to debate and or present your contrarian opinion. Hit that like button to be able to continue to do that. I love y'all. I love these talks that we have. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about episode 12. I will have a breakdown video for it by the morning, as well as a preview for next week's episode. And also, whether you're watching this on on replay, or you're finishing out this live with me, let me know some other things that you would like me to explore. If you want me to create a video about specific storyline or questions that you have, or to dive deeper or look at something, drop it into the comment section of this video or any other video, and I will definitely take heed and work on getting a video up about it. DNC said, I want Aaron to start going with Karen for all her meetings with Fatima. I agree. I tweeted that. I was like, okay, so we're going to have a meeting with ZAC and Fatima and Aaron and Karen to talk about how we about to raise the best baby that ever did baby. Yeah. And I'm here for it. They better free Maurice. Yes. You're rooting for Dustin and Calvin and Sabrina, and you like Robin. Listen, I want Preston and Danny to figure it out. I need Danny to go through the emotional ringer, and I need her to release herself to vulnerability. Like, I need her to surrender and to start to figure it out, because not only is her lack of ability to be vulnerable and open preventing her from moving forward in love, but I think it's also stopping her from moving forward in life. It's one thing if like if you do aspire to like work at this airport, cool. But it seemed like you don't even like this job. So what is it that you want to do? What would make your heart sing? What do you want to do with your life? How do you want to spend your time? Not just who you want to spend your time with. I need us to be entering an era where Danny goes into full self-discovery and release mode. And it's going to be messy and it's going to be ugly. And I want Preston to be there to love her through it all. But I need her to go through it. I just do. Yeah. And I think that's a great way to end the live. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and joining me. The next time y'all see me on live, oh, actually I have a members only live, I believe on Sunday. Members, check the channel or the community tab. I think it's Sunday. Members only live. And then after that, the next time y'all see me on live, I'll be back in my home studio because I'm headed back to LA, y'all. It's been a long time coming. And shout out to my mama for giving me this other room to be able to live stream and to create my videos and to keep the content flowing over this holiday season. It's been a very, very long 2 months out of LA. I'm so ready to go back. Enjoy my time here, but I'm so ready to go back and really get back to work. 2023 is here. The channel is grown. We are 21,000 subscribers now. Shout out to all of y'all. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and do so. Even if you don't agree with me, you can go ahead and subscribe so that you can live another day to see when I post a new video or go live and then come in and then tell me that you don't agree with me, because that's what y'all gonna do anyway. But I appreciate y'all so very much, and I will see you in my next live or video. Good night.